Hi guys, this is Zach, the producer and guitarist of May Will Be One. I just wanted to extend an incredible thank you on behalf of the band for the incredible support that our debut has gotten since we released it. It means the world to us that you all loved it so much. Unfortunately, as some of you may know, both Tate and Jonathan are out of state for the next 2 years, meaning we can't perform. We're trying to write new music while we're all separate, but to hold you guys over for a little, I wanted to let you all in on some production behind the scenes for the album. I'll be going through every song, talking about the mix, pointing out things that you might not have noticed or cared about. We'll be starting with Arrhythmia to Arrest, the heaviest song we had on the album. Alright, so we start here with this intro. We have this little clean thing. This was Jonathan's riff idea. And yeah, this gave birth to the entire rest of the song. We weren't quite sure what to do with that after the fact, so we just decided, screw it, same riff with distortion. Slight variation on the second one. Including me screwing it up because I played this part. Then in the second half, there's the drum groove that comes in full. This is specifically, we unfortunately didn't have time to record full drum stuff, so we actually just used Periphery 4's, the Periphery 4 kit from Get Good Drums. Wasn't this this wet in the actual mix, but this is what the kit sounds like. Get a good grasp of what the thing sounds like. And in the second half, we have the distortion bass here. And the rhythm guitars are playing the same thing. And this is being played on my PRS Mark Holcomb, tuned to drop A flat because it's a 7-string. Really freaking low notes, and that's how you get the grit. And a little fun fact, actually, that I didn't notice until very recently is if you listen closely to the distorted take in the silences here. I turned it up digitally there, but you can hear the rhythm guitars feeding back through the microphone. I think that's really cool. Anyway, in the background of this, we have this super saw pad. Just generic, it goes down a whole bunch of really cool chords. Love my major 7s, you'll always see that everywhere. It's just super basic, something you can make easily in Serum. Literally just looks like this. I do a little bit of effects work on it, but like this is the only stuff that's actually active, just reverb and delay. Plus this thing, which was actually, it was being affected, well actually I think, yeah, it is being affected by this, so that's just being affected by the filter knob there for modulation. Something else you'll probably notice in the intro is this white noise. Nothing right now, let it fade in. Kind of hear it now, and then it goes. It's an arrangement trick that I learned while I was in college, is to have like a noise going underneath a section, and then slow, like noise that is filtered off. So this is a low pass filter, and you only get the low frequencies of that, and then just ramping it up. And you just were opening up the filter, so you get this whooshing sound effect. But only doing the whoosh right at the end. Just a little arrangement trick. And then you accentuate that with an impact here. Pretty good. And then in context, it sounds like this. Pretty cool. And then we get to the verses here. The whole idea with the verses is, I believe Jonathan came up with these chords, if I'm not very much mistaken. Maybe it was me, I honestly don't remember, but I then voiced them in a really weird way, so I added in a Rhodes here. So you could view these chords as E flat major, A flat major, E flat to C flat, E flat major, A flat major, E flat major, C minor. It just repeats that. But then in the Rhodes here, just a keyboard sound, I decided instead I was going to do it this way. E flat major, F minor, G minor, A flat, E flat, F minor, G minor, C minor. I thought it was really cool. And that's kind of accentuated in this. This outlines like sevenths. It's really cool, and then the bass does it as well. Of course, this is when the vocals come in, and there's a lot of vocal layers. We'll get to this at the very end. But during this, we have this really, really cool drum groove that I programmed. Really using the kit here, if you look at it. Underneath that, of course, we have everything else, and then also the sine wave here. Sine wave is what I called it. This is actually literally just the synthesizer that I made for the melody part in the background of signals, like during the choruses and pre-choruses. In fact, this is basically the same melody. Just loops from there. It's essentially the same melody, I just adjusted it for the key. Then we get into heavy verse, this time with halftime drums. And then we get into the pre-chorus, which was really interesting. So I came up with the first bit of this. Up to there. And I realized as I was playing it, I was like, huh, this feels weird. Something about it doesn't quite feel right. And then I realized 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So I was really, really messing around with that. This is the proggiest song that we have on this entire album. It's so fun. So that's the first half of that. And then I decided I wanted to do sort of walk-ups with, like, starting with the chord that Jonathan gave me and then something a little bit different that was also very oddly timed, so which is really cool. And then after that, it's just a bunch of accentuating a lot of different rhythms. Really cool. Underneath that, okay, so there's a 5/4 bar here as well, which leads to my favorite phenomenon where basically what I'm doing for this first half is I'm subtracting half a beat for the first two bars, meaning that in terms of like the actual straight up 4/4 grid, this is actually now a beat ahead. So starting right here, this would actually start on this would start on 4, but then I add that beat back So then it actually just works out magically to be 8 bars of 4/4. It's really cool. Anyway, underneath the riff we have this, which is just playing the root notes of the chord. Doing stops here. And then we outline big chord here at the very end. Big 7th chord. The bass is basically doing the same thing. Pretty cool. And underneath all of that, we have the super saw here, just outlining the chords. That just loops from there. And then we also have these guys here. So these are doubling the melody figures here, which, when played together, sound like this. So those two on their own, they sound like this. The one here we have is Slate Digital Sonic Academy Anna 2. Aquatic Harp on vinyl. It's a really cool sound. Really nice. And then here we have Woodchester, is what it's called. I believe they're called Fractal Sound. Yeah, Fracture Sounds, that's it. Fractal Sound is actually Fractal Audio, and that's who made the guitar tones, basically. It's just a piano. And that is going underneath, of course, these rhythm guitars. So if you ever felt during this section that there was something else going on underneath the rhythm parts, there's your answer. And then, of course, this really cool drum groove. Of course, it just repeats there. And it's so cool. This section is so cool. Yeah. Then we get into the chorus here. Lots of cool stuff happening here. First of all, we just have Super Saw outlining the chords, and also, again, the white noise rush. Lots of weird chord stuff happening there. Then we have this arpeggio, which we're actually going to get to last here. We have this choir happening. Fun chord stuff in the second half here. Just a major 6th, so fun. Then the guitars are just doing chords. Well, I actually have a weird trick that I do here. So this is just the regular chords. And then if I take these guys specifically, you can hear a little octave lower than the lowest note here, which is a very low A flat, so very, very low notes happening here. I'm actually just playing octaves here. So I'm playing 2 octaves of the root note of the chord. And then this last one here, my favorite little trick to do, this guy has a little filter on it, I believe in Infinity EQ, which is called speakerphone. It's a really nice sounding thing, and it just makes it sound like this. And what I'm doing with that is I'm outlining the 3rd of each chord. So here we have... In terms of outlining a melody, that doesn't really do much for, like, it's not a great melody. Then we have the distorted bass here. Just outlining the notes. Little trick that I like to do is this post-rock sound effect. And this effect is basically you just put a very heavy delay in front of the distortion stage of your effects chain. So if you're playing like on a pedal board, it would be you come in, you probably go through like a tuner and then a compressor, and then you would put the delay and then a distortion, and then it would go out into the amplifier where it would get more distortion. And you get this really nice chaotic sound that at the very end also sounds like this. Really nice. And then the last thing that I want to talk about here for the chorus is this arpeggiator. This thing was me getting into modular synthesis, and I still am because I really love modular synthesis. The problem is that the way that I built this, it's so buried that you don't even notice it, because it sounds like this. It's a really cool part. Just loops from there. It's a really cool part. It's a shame that it's not really heard very well in the final mix. Then we come to the first breakdown here. So right here we have this weird rhythm thing. Alright, so what we have going on here, this is an 8-bar phrase. It's all in 4. This is all in 4/4. And Jonathan had said, why don't we go like Periphery Atropos kind of in this section? I was like, not a bad idea. So, what I did was come up with a small little figure. A small figure that I could adjust. And I came up with this figure that's equates to a bar of 7 and a bar of 5. So if you count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the phrase. And I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, we do 7, 5, 7, 5, and then I adjust it here at 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, then 7, 5, then 7, and then that's a bar of 2, I believe. Dun, 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 yeah. Da, 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 yeah. So it's 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 2. And that equates to 8 bars of 4/4. Underneath that, we have this guy. Jonathan rightly said that this felt really empty, so added that. I believe as well I do a lower octave. Yeah, get that grit. And of course the distortion bass. Oh yeah, I did octaves here as well. So if you listen to this all together, this is the sound that we get. It's really cool. And then we also have the drums going on over this, which is a really cool little drum groove. Where the only thing of 4/4 that you get out of this drum groove is actually just the crash cymbals. The rest of it is as far from 4/4 as you can get, and this is what it sounds like. So what I'm doing here, the way that I wrote this was that the snare would accent the last beat of each theoretical bar here. So it would accent beat 7 in the 7/4 sections, beat 5 in the 5 sections, etc., and then B2 in the 2 sections. So it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Except for that one. That one's apparently a little bit weird. I did that one a little bit early because I apparently wanted to screw with people even more. Anyway. That then does a 6/4 bar at the very end, which then goes into the second verse. Oh yeah, we also have the siren that goes on. This is literally a preset in Serum. It's literally called World War II air raid siren. Sounds like this. I thought it was cool, okay? Anyway, there's a drum fill leads into the final the second verse here. Just weird rhythmic stuff again. Second time round, we get the lead main 2 here, which is this one is written with the post-rock guitar settings, I believe. Yeah, sounds like it. Back into chorus here. And then no differences up until we get to the build-up here. So at this point in the writing process, we decided that we wanted to start letting loose on this because I believe we had this idea for what the song was going to be about and how it was going to be like feeling trapped within yourself and like feeling super depressed and trying to let yourself out, so we start to bring out the aggression here. Suddenly, a note that's not in key. Bring in second guitar here. I believe the stops here were Jonathan's idea. Or the cymbal grabs, sorry. Anyway, get super low here. Nothing else of note. And then here we get a really extreme version of the exact same rhythm as this section here, the weird, I'm gonna call it the Oppenheimer section. Anyway. So during this build-up, or sorry, we'll get to the breakdown in a second here. The break is down in a second. We have this tom build-up. You'll probably hear me do that specific tom groove and a couple things, but the way I was building it up here was that the song, Draco Gross by Periphery has, after the final chorus, this massive build-up to a stupidly heavy riff with one line that leads into it for 2 beats. So the line is specifically blood like wine, so it goes like, in context here, what I was thinking with doing this was like this. Blood like wine! So cool. Anyway, yeah, this is just an extreme version of the Oppenheimer riff. Just how weird could I make it? How weird and sludgy could I make it, I guess? And then just to mess with people more, we get to this section and there's a 5/4 bar, or 5/8 bar. And then it just grows into this. The rhythms that are happening here was, again, throwing people off as much as I can here. 7/4/5. Check this out. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1. Just the stupidest things I could come up with, but it worked out. It was really cool. I believe the way that I actually came up with this was I wrote out like how many quarter notes were in 4 bars of 4, and then came up with the subdivision therein. Like whatever it is that I could come up with that would fit into those 4 bars, and it would have to loop regardless of if it fits the way that I wanted it to. And then, as I was writing out these chords, Jonathan had the idea to put this underneath it. Me messing it up because I'm a horrible guitarist. And then another tom build up here with harmonies. These 2 notes at the very end here actually were me just continuing in case we decided to loop the section, and then Jonathan was like, no, keep those. Those actually work really well leading into the next section. Bring back post-rock there, and then this is just a minor variation of Jonathan's riff. That's all there is to it. And of course my solo, proving I'm not a particularly great guitarist. Hold out the note as long as you can. And then it leads into, obviously, Monster in the Dark there. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for all the guitar stuff here. This was me thinking, like, how best can I release the tension, and then that was what I came up with. Now let's get to the vocals. So there's a way that I have Jonathan record the vocals most of the time, but we'll start here with the main vocal take here, with no reverb or delay. This is just his voice dry, with compression and a little bit of tuning.
I feel so alone, I am pressured into my soul. My social circle is now a kill circle, using everything they can against me. I'm breaking under pressure, the pressure to perform. The ability to impress, there's nothing here for me anymore. I can't scream out my madness, I won't scream out my pain. I don't know how much more heartbreak I can't sustain.
That's it, completely dry. His voice is actually really freaking good. Jonathan did a really good job actually with this part, because this is not an easy section to sing.
I wish I could be happy again. It's getting very hard to pretend. Why won't I let myself free from this crushed being I call me?
He had the idea to make the vocals be in rhythm with the guitar stops here, but I'm amazed that he managed to figure out how to sing over 7/8 bar. It was fun. Anyway, where things get interesting is when we get to the final chord, or the chorus itself.
The long days bring uncertainty.
So here's what I had him do. This is obviously the main take here.
The long days bring uncertainty.
So what I had him do was then record that same thing in that same octave, just twice. But these are slightly tuned. Well, slightly more tuned than the main take.
The long days bring uncertainty, with no hope on the horizon.
Then when you put that with the main vocal take.
The long days bring uncertainty, with no hope on the horizon. Inner demons are screaming at me, they tell me words to say.
And then I had him do it an octave lower.
The long days.
Very tuned. This is like 100% tuning, just to make sure that the notes are completely grounded.
Inner demons are screaming at me, they tell me words to say. Just when I thought I'd rid the pain, the rain began to fall. I'm trying so hard to escape.
Oh, it goes away?
But I'm trapped within these walls.
But if you've been listening to the song, you'll know that that's not the only thing that actually happens underneath that. Instead, we also get this.
But I'm trapped within these walls.
I just told him to, like, kind of go as, like, demonic, like, low into his voice as he could, and just, like, talk it, basically. And I would put the radio filter onto it, the speakerphone filter. And then when you put the two together...
But I'm trapped within these walls.
It's really great. The effects that I put onto his voice, like, there's, like, compression and EQ and crap. But for other effects, I put on reverb and delay.
Inner demons are screaming at me. They tell me words to say. Just when I thought I'd rid the pain, the rain began to fall. I'm trying so hard to escape, but I'm trapped within these walls.
Then, of course, we got the Oppenheimer speech in this section.
Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
I thought that fit really well, and Jonathan did too, and apparently he hadn't actually heard that speech until the day I showed that to him.
Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Great. Great crap. This section's really cool.
The noose is around my neck.
I really like Jonathan's vocal delivery here.
Do you know what it's like to take your final stride? For the darkness to cover over your vision.
It's pretty great. Something else to note in the pre-choruses here, we have me attempting screaming in response to "I'm not breathing on my own" here.
Not breathing on my own. On my own. Presence.
That doesn't hurt as much as it sounds. And then we also decided to shout it just to give it more accent. So it sounds like this.
On my own.
I think actually Tate's in there too, but if not, maybe it was Jonathan's little brother Sev. But this is both of our shouts together.
On my own.
Sounds great, actually. Not to blow my own horn too much. Anyway, then I had the idea, as we were going into the heavy section here, for Jonathan to do like a Spencer Sotelo build-up kind of yell. Because the way that Spencer Sotelo of Periphery will sometimes do his vocal takes is he'll like build up into a scream. So that's what I told him to do.
But I'm trapped within these walls.
I think I had to do a separate take just to get the breath out. Anyway, then we get to the psychotic laughing. Which there's 3 layers of laughing here. We'll go through one at a time, starting with 19 here. Psychotic laughing 1. What's happening there is I have auto panning going on, and then the auto panning disappears right at the end. I thought it was really cool. Anyway, psychotic laughing 2. Kind of makes you feel like you're going insane with the auto panning. It's fun. And then the third one, this is the cough take. Ah, it's so good. I love that. Then you put all 3 of them together and you get this. It's so chaotic and I love it. And then, in this build-up here, we have Jonathan had these vocals, and I told him to do 4 takes of it. The first one is just him kind of saying it how he normally would in this context.
I wish I could let go. I wish I could let go. I wish I could be set free. I wish I could be set free.
I then told him to really enunciate it.
I wish I could let go. I wish I could let go. I wish I could be set free. I wish I could be set free.
And then, a couple demonic ones where I told him to be really gravelly in his voice.
I wish I could let go. I wish I could let go. I wish I could be set free. I wish I could be set free.
And the last one, actually, I pitched down by, I believe, 6 semitones as well.
I wish I could let go.
Which means if I turn it up by 6 semitones, it should actually sound normal.
I wish I could let go. I wish I could let go.
I wish I could be set free. I wish I could be set free.
And when you put it all together, you get this!
I wish I could let go. I wish I could let go. I wish I could be set free. I wish I could be set free.
And then, of course,
I'm set free!
see why I decided to do that? So, it was at this point that Jonathan and I were figuring out that we wanted to do a screaming section during this, and neither of us were particularly comfortable doing it. I kind of could, given my Spencer Sotelo screams from earlier, but he said on one day that his little brother Severin could do screams. And I told him, if I'm less than 100% convinced, I'm doing it. And then he showed me the recording, and it was actually really good. Or at least as far as I was concerned, it was really good. But in getting into that, I had Jonathan yell first.
I'm set free!
I don't think that he'd be able to hold that up. So this is Severin's first scream that he did.
I'm set free!
So good. Then his high scream, I had him do it slightly up a little bit.
I'm set free!
And then a low scream.
I'm set free!
Then you put all of those guys together, and then you get this!
I'm set free!
Really cool. And then it's just Severin's actual screaming take here, plus a little bit of shouting in the later section.
The pain is so now! For the flash of a bass drum! Giving my devil horn, screaming my soul!
Computer click there.
This is the new man! The heavy side inside!
Which also kind of proves something here if you listen to this.
This is the new man!
You can actually hear a little bit of the actual track at the very end there. Just because of how high I have the gain on this. You can really kind of hear it there. Yeah, you can hear it. The way that we did the shouts here was we just didn't do headphones. We just shouted into the microphone with it quite loud while the track was loud enough for us to hear. And you don't even notice it in the final recording. But that's kind of where the vocal stuff ends. And there's a lot that I could go into with the actual mixing and the EQs and crap like that, but a lot of the stuff that I do in my mixes is actually stuff that's already online. So I'm going to point you guys in the direction of, I know his name, Adam Nolly Get Good Drums. On the Get Good Drums YouTube channel, he has done some mix breakdowns of Periphery songs using the Get Good Drums drum kits. And on those videos, that's where I got all my tips from. So if you follow those, you'll get exactly everything that you need. Instead of from me directly, because I can't actually explain anything as well as Nolly can. So, with that, thank you very much for joining me. I meant to get this out last month, but due to circumstances, especially surrounding Christmas, I couldn't actually. But suffice to say, It's finally here. And the way that I'm going to do these breakdowns is that there's going to be another one next month, and then after that, it'll be every 2 months. So every 2 months, I will do another mix breakdown before Jonathan and Tate get back. It's going to be so exciting. So, with that, thank you all very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.